Hello and welcome to I Am Well podcast. I'm your host Gemma, a nutritionist and a hormonal fasting coach, passionate about self-development through a holistic lens. But my biggest mission is to help empower women and get them to reconnect and trust their bodies again. So if you're a woman who just wants to better herself and live her best life, you're listening to the right podcast. So let's get to it. Hello and welcome back to I Am Well podcast. I hope you're all having an amazing week so far. And if you're not, I highly recommend you listen to anything Joe Dispenza. I honestly have been in a place of feeling lack. And I know we get like this every now and then, and especially because it was the week leading up to my day one of my cycle. And that is like the most vulnerable for women, that the time where we start to feel in that lack mindset. And the better you can get at pulling yourself up on it and being aware of it at that time, the better you are able to control it and to get through it and to push through it and not let it affect your life. And I completely forgot that part, to be honest. And I was in a place of lack. I was worrying about the future so much, worrying about finances, worrying about things. And I just thought, I'm so sick of this part of me. I'm so sick of it. I'm just going to look up a Joe Dispenza video. I literally clicked an interview he was on. It was on it's like, what's it called? It's a podcast called The School of Greatness, I think it is, or something about the School of Great or something like that. Anyway, search that episode in particular, and my trip in the mornings to my work literally takes like an hour at the moment. It really shouldn't, but it does because of traffic. So I sit in traffic and I just listen to this. And honestly, it was the best reminder, he delivers information so well, and it put everything into perspective. And I was like, yeah, I'm living like that. I want that. So he was talking about, coming from when we're always living in a place of lack, where we're always wanting more, where we're always wanting something. And then once we have that thing, that then our life will be easier. So for example, mine was like finances. I was thinking way too far into the future, worrying about finances. And it's, if I'm always worrying about finances, it then will eat away at my body, at my brain, and my energy will be depleted. And that's all I will literally think about is wanting more money. And the thing is, when we want more money, it puts us in that lack mindset of that, like, we don't have it. And then it gives that shame and that guilt around it, like that we're not good enough because we don't have it. You know, we might compare ourselves to someone else and go, oh, they have so much more money than we do. They have nice fancy cars. They have nice things. Like, that's what I want. And it puts you in that mindset of you're not good enough yet because you're not where you want to be. And surface level, it's great to say to someone, just don't think like that. Start thinking in a mindset of where you're grateful for the life you have already. You're abundant for the life you have already. It's easy enough to say that, but if you actually act that you are, if you actually are grateful, not act, if you actually are grateful for the life that you have, if you actually are feeling abundant, if you are feeling the way of that person, pretend like you're the person you want to be. If you're like that now, living in abundance, then things start to fall into place and you start vibrating on a higher frequency. Your brain stops having that depleted energy because your brain is just exhausted from it. So it was just a really good reminder overall. And I just think, you know, if I was going through this, there's got to be someone out there that's also listening to this as well that might be going through it. And if you are in a place where you're like, I can't right now because I can't think like that. I have to make money right now because I have to put us in a good financial position for 2 weeks' time when we've got that bill coming in. It's always going to be a struggle. And that is literally what I have thought my whole life, that I need to plan so far ahead. I need to be ready for that next bill. But the moment that we are stuck in that mindset, the moment you're never going to break it. You're always going to be stuck. And the scarier thing to do is to just look around right now and live a life in abundance as if you already had the money. And I love what he was saying on the podcast. Like, he was saying that people who he's helped teach this way of living and have these feelings, they do all of a sudden attract all this money, but they give it away because like someone who is already living in abundance and already has that amount of money, they're not going to be in a scarcity mindset where they're like, oh, I better put this, keep it to myself or lock it down or something like that. They're like, no, I'm going to give it out. I'm going to give it to someone else because I'm not worried, because I know how to make money easily. I know this will come back to me. And that's the mindset I want to live with right now. And I know that that's probably the same thing that you want to do as well. So I actually thought it was a great thing, coming back to being a nutrition coach with my clients. A lot of them come to me saying like, I just want to lose weight. These next 3 months, I just want to lose weight. And the first thing we work on is mindset and getting to the why. Okay, why do you want to lose the weight, and getting to the real nitty gritty of it. But also then, if you're sitting there going, when I lose the weight, then I'll be happy, then I'll be fit, then I'll be able to do all these things, then people will like me, then I'll get into the crowds. You're literally living in a lack mindset right then and there. That's why I always tell my clients, learn to love your body now. And easier said than done, right? I know, because you for so long have been hating on your body. But I want you to start looking at your body differently, because that's when you're going to get the best results. That's when things start working. That's when you're not struggling anymore. You're not going, oh, no matter what I do, I can't lose weight. No, if you start living as if you've got the body of your dreams right now, you're living the life that you are wanting right now, then all of a sudden the weight just comes off. Things start falling into place. And honestly, it put me in the best mindset today for work. I literally was going into work, listening to this, and I was like, yeah, oh my God, my life is good. My life is amazing. I have 2 beautiful children, my amazing husband, and we are able to afford an amazing life for them. We moved states. We had enough savings to be able to move us to a location we've always wanted to live in. The weather is beautiful majority of the time of the year here. We're able to get outdoors. We're able to do more exploring. I'm so grateful for that. And I can't believe I was missing that. And here I am thinking, like, now that I'm working more, I've got less time for my business and less time for my family. Whereas, in fact, I feel like now I'm starting to appreciate those times with them more. The mornings are incredible. Like, it's just being able, my kids running to my bed in the morning and, 5 a.m. in the morning being like, come on, Mum. I love that. And they're all sleepy-eyed and I give them cuddles and kisses. That is so amazing. And I can't believe I was taking that for granted. When I get home and I see them, like, it's just a love bubble, and I forget about that. And that's the life that I want to live. And I just want to bring it back to those clients that come to me saying they want to lose weight. You will lose weight. Just believe it, you will lose weight. But you have to start loving the body that's got you this far. You have to start loving the parts of you that has kept you safe. So that fat on your body, know that that is an incredible thing that your body has done for you. That fat could have been placed around your organs. It could have been so much deadlier and you didn't even know it because you wouldn't have seen the fat. Instead, it would have been internal. So thank your body for doing that for you. Your body is incredible and it's so smart. And for so many times, we always blame our body for things. We blame our hormones. Why, I just don't have the metabolism as that person. Why not? Like, remember, that is living in a place of lack. So anyway, it is one of my favorite videos that I listened to this morning. I found it on YouTube. Actually, I will leave the link for it in the show notes below. I highly recommend if you're feeling like you're stuck in a place of lack, or you're always worrying about things, you're worrying about money, you're worrying about the future, click on this, watch it, listen to it, and it will just inspire you to be like, no, I want to change. Also, I've got actually one of Joe Dispenza's meditations that it was a script from one of his books. I turned it into a meditation, so that is also free from my website. I'll leave that in the show notes below. Listen to this if you want to start making some miraculous change. I haven't done it in so long, and I'm like, no, I'm getting back on the bandwagon, and this is the life that I want to live. This is the person that I want to be. So if you want to jump on board with me, the meditation is there. Anyway, little interesting thing. I'm going to talk a little bit about nuts today, in particular cashews, because as you know, I all know now, I've got a new job. I work at a wellness center with amazing doctor, and they're doing incredible things to help. Majority is chronic illnesses, so a lot of cancer patients, but they're helping them. They're not like curing the cancer. Some are, but like they're not curing it, but they're being able to live longer with it and live their life that they want to live. Like, I think even Joe Dispenza mentions this in the podcast I literally listened to on my way to work, that I'll leave in the show notes. But he literally says, like, the work that he does on the brain and on the mindset, and it changes the chemical reaction within your body. And it also, it might not cure cancer, but that doesn't matter. Like, just because you're still got the cancer, you're able to then live. And that's the goal. Like, you want to live, but you want to live like your best life, right? And these people are like, so this place I'm working at, it's bloody incredible. I'm all for it. If you're interested in this place, because people are flying in from all over the states in Australia to go to this place, I will also leave the link in the show notes below. If you come, you ring up and you ended up booking an appointment for someone, they do weight loss, they do a lot of cancer patients, as I said, tell them that you heard it from this podcast, I Am Well podcast. I work there anyway, so they'll know. But yeah, it's an incredible place. So you can look into it yourself. But yeah, interesting thing. One of the doctors was saying to one of the patients to stop having cashews, and they were saying, and I've heard things before, like there is so much information, it gets really frustrating in nutrition. I've said this before, how it gets so frustrating, whether it always changes, like something's good and then something's bad and then something's good. So I've heard about cashews and how they can be bad, and I was like, I've literally got a whole bag of cashews at home. I love cashews and I chew on them and I'm obsessed because they're just an easy, quick snack. And I know that there's a certain phase in your cycle that it actually helps with women's hormones. Now, the doctor said that no, we should not be having cashews. They're not good for gut health, all the things. And, I always listen, especially to a doctor that believes so wholeheartedly in functional health and holistic health. And I was like, okay, but I still need to do my own research on this because I'm obsessed, but I also need to see the data and the research for myself. So I searched PubMed. There is literally nothing on PubMed saying that cashews are bad for us. So I was kind of like a bit deflated, and I was like, I can't find what he's finding. Like, where is this? So then I pretended as if, I was someone really cynical about cashews and trying to get anything negative off Google from them, and literally Googled cashews, why are they bad for us? And it's because they're saying that it's derived from the same, like it's got the same ingredient as what poison ivy does. So poison ivy contains something called urushiol, and it's like an oily resin that can cause the skin irritation, and it can cause an allergic reaction in some people. Obviously, from like we know, poison ivy can make someone really itchy and give up those rashes and stuff like that. Well, cashews, their outer shell contains that ingredient. The thing is, when we get cashews though, they do take off the outer shell and they roast them. The only thing being is they're not 100% sure that they can fully get off that ingredient, urushiol. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, so they can't fully get it off. So that's the thing, right? What then can happen is it can affect your gut health. So because we all know, like, getting rashes and getting this allergic reaction it always has a connection to your gut. If you are ingesting this, and even if you get like a tiny little bit of the substance, it can then irritate your gut. If you're someone who is trying to heal a chronic disease, or if you're someone who has gut issues or gut problems, I would actually advise, your safest bet would be to just stay away from cashews. There's so many other nuts out there that you can have. Walnuts are great, especially for women's hormones. Almonds, hazelnuts, stay away from cashews, because what is the point if you're having these gut inflammations of something that could then stimulate it? And I just thought, how many people out there know this? How many people out there know this about the gut and about nuts? I definitely didn't. It's not something they teach in nutrition course, and actually a lot of stuff that I have learned has never really been taught in my nutrition course, because that's the thing, like, there's so much more out there, and not everything that is natural is always good for us, if that makes sense. So not everything that has been grown is always the best for us. I always say it's better to go, nature's carbs, or grow whole foods and stuff. But for certain people, some foods, even like things like broccoli, for example, for certain people, broccoli can be too much for one person. It can actually, the iodine in there, it can exacerbate symptoms in thyroid disease and all other things. So obviously, if you have too much, I'm not saying broccoli's bad. Do not quote me on that, please, because I love broccoli. I have broccoli. It is not bad. But I'm just like giving an example that, like, we've got to remember that, like, plants, even though, everyone always says like, oh, plants like go natural as possible, they can still give us an allergic reaction. Poison ivy, for example. So not everything natural is good for us. So it makes sense that we do need to be careful about natural things. And cashews, for example, when they collect the cashews, take off the shell and stuff, I doubt they're going to be so careful with every single cashew there is. No, they're going to do a quick, simple job, and I'm sure there's going to be some of that urushiol substance left on the nut. And that's the thing that could then cause that gut inflammation and cause allergic reactions. So this is the thing when I'm talking with clients and they're saying, I eat really healthy, I don't understand why I'm getting all these hormonal imbalances, why I'm getting these irritations. And you find out, they're having things like a lot of cashews. Well, that could actually be irritating and causing inflammation from within that's causing that hormonal imbalance. So it's just something to keep in mind. I, for one, am switching nuts. I'm going to almonds instead of cashews because I have Hashimoto's, which is an underactive thyroid. And it's just I've also had endometriosis. I get painful periods, and that is connected to the gut. So there is just no point in testing that and making my gut, it could be making my gut inflamed, which then causing more pain around my cycle. And you know what? This last cycle has been quite painful. I'm not saying it's because of the cashews. However, I did recently get the cashews, but I'm not saying it's because of that. If anyone's been seeing me on Instagram, that more so I put down to stress and change in jobs, and my daughter went to prep and all of these other things. I didn't do fasting this month, and fasting has been an amazing tool for me, and I didn't really implement it that much. So I would also say it's that. Something to take note of if maybe you're including a lot of cashews in your diet, cashew butter, anything to do with cashews, it can actually be quite harmful for your gut. And I was like, when I heard this, obviously, as I said, I did the research myself. It's there. You just have to do a little digging, because everything on PubMed and like peer-reviewed journals will say like cashews are good for your health, but it's the extra digging that you've got to do. That ingredient there, that is the same as poison ivy. Yes, they try to strip it. Yes, they try to get it off. So I would say if you are obsessed with cashews and maybe you don't have gut issues and maybe you don't have a chronic illness or anything, okay, have some cashews then, but in moderation. Everything in moderation, right? Because also you don't want to overdo it, because they're a healthy fat, but they can be very fatty. So maybe if you're trying to lose weight and you're having a lot of cashews, this could be where you're going wrong as well. Just another, I guess, reminder as to why I think tracking is important, tracking everything, because even tracking what you're eating, just if you're trying to figure out something. I'm not saying that you have to do it for everything all the time, but if you are having hormonal imbalances or you are experiencing painful periods or something, then why not just start tracking everything you're eating, everything you're doing, all the stress that's coming in, everything in life, and seeing what's going on, because I bet you're going to get the most out of that. And this is something that I get every client to do within our work. It's a whole holistic picture, right? And that's what we grab, and that's where we go from there. That's going to give you so much information, and I bet if there'll be something there that we'll be able to figure out, and then it will change everything. And it's always getting to the root cause then. It's going to help us get to the root cause quicker. So tracking is like my number one key. Another thing I want to just mention too, random, but AI is bloody amazing, okay? If you are struggling in your business, in your life, in anything, don't forget the power of AI. It is so clever and insane. I've been using AI for the past it'd be 6 to 7 months now in my business, and AI has come to know me quite well. It helps me create schedules, it helps me do posts, it helps me with everything. So it wasn't till I was trying to decide what to do. I wanted to do further studies, and I've got my certification in nutrition. I have my Fast Like a Girl certification through Dr. Mindy Pelz's course, and I've just finished my hormone specialist course. So now I'm a functional hormone specialist. And I was like, I think I want to get a bachelor's degree. I was like, I just think the next step is to get a proper bachelor's degree. That way I can work with clients, eventually become a dietitian and work more so with clients in dire needs as well. And something just didn't feel right. And I was in a place, as I said, as I've been totally honest with you guys, I was in a place where I wasn't really trusting myself. And totally, that was my gut saying, maybe don't do this. It's probably not the right timing, but I didn't trust it was my gut. I just couldn't be sure. And so it came to me and I thought, I'm going to ask AI. AI knows so much about me. I'm just going to give it a shot. ask AI what it thinks. It knows my business back to front. It knows my goals, my dreams. It knows literally my family life. I'm going to see, it literally even knows like I got a job. So I'm going to see what it says and what it says I should do. So I typed in, okay, with everything that you know about me, what should I do? Should I do this bachelor's degree in clinical nutrition, study for the next 3 years? Or is this not the right path right now and I should just work and focus on my business on the side? And it got back to me so clear, like gave me all the positives, the cons, but also like something that no one else had kind of suggested for me when I'd asked other people. And I was like, oh, this is so smart. But it was like, it doesn't make sense for me to do a clinical nutrition degree right now when I'm literally into more of the holistic and functional aspect. So it makes more sense if I'm going to do any further studies to do those studies in like mindset or something around women's hormones. Like I've already done my functional hormones with women, but you know, something else. And that put everything into perspective. And I was like, yeah, you're right, AI. And that's the thing. It's because it knows me so well now. So I just wanted to remind you that AI is incredible. So start using it if you want for your business and stuff. You can do visualization scripts for like things that, you know, what you want to achieve in a year's time. You can, if you be so super specific, it can literally give you a script that you can like read every morning, and that'll help get you closer and faster to your goals. There are so many scripts on Instagram and social media and stuff that people are giving out as well for free. So take those scripts and use them, and I promise you it's a game changer. And if you're not using AI, why not? Because this is literally the future. This is the future is here now with us. This is what it is. So I used it to help me find PubMed peer-reviewed journal studies on cashews. I help it make my decisions. It helps put things into perspective. It helps remind me of my goals again and the clarity of it. And yeah, it's just bloody smart. So AI, guys, give it a whirl. Anyway, I will leave it there. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Stay tuned. Subscribe to my email list. I've got a free VIP day coming up. Only 3 clients will get one free hour session with me where we'll go through everything to make sure that you are achieving your health goals this year, whether that's to balance your hormones, whether that's to strengthen your mindset, whether that's just to attract in what you want to attract in this year. And if you get yourself into good health, good mind, good environment, you will be able to achieve that, because I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it with myself. I'm seeing it with my clients. I'm seeing it everywhere. So don't forget to subscribe to my email list, because you will then get that opportunity. It will be via Zoom, so you can literally do it anywhere in the world. Okay, I know I have a lot of listeners all over the world. So don't miss out on that one, because I will be announcing that in my emails soon, and those who are on my email list will have first preference. And I bet the 3 free vacancies, I should say, will be going very, very fast. Anyway, I will leave you with that. Have a lovely rest of your week, everyone, and I will talk to you all in the next episode. Bye, guys.